Players Club is brought to you by MBNA and the Mario Lemieux MasterCard. Starter, the official on-ice jersey of the Pens. Pittsburgh Sports Trivia. And #1 Cochran of Monroeville and Robinson Township.
Welcome to this edition of the Players Club. I'm Heather Lee, and this, of course, is Troy Loney. Now, today we're going to be joined by this guy right here, Tom Barrasso. Now, Tom, as you may know, had a very much celebrated kind of hiatus from the media. Didn't really talk with anyone very much for the last 2 years. Now, Troy, you know him a lot better than I do, obviously. You played with him. What were your thoughts about this interview?
That was a great interview. Tom's a real knowledgeable guy. He talks really frankly about what happened with the media, why he wasn't talking to anybody. He talks about Mario Lemieux a little bit and about the season coming up. It's a very, very interesting interview.
Good. Well, we look forward to taking a look at that.
Tom, thanks for stopping in with us here today. A lot of people don't realize that in your first season, the 83-84 season, that you won both the Vezina Trophy and the Calder Trophy in the same year, which is an amazing feat because just that combination of things in 1 year, your first year, is very difficult. And I've heard you talk about how difficult that was and how challenging you'll think it'll be for somebody else to repeat that. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Well, I think it'll be very difficult to repeat it. Being 18 years old, first of all, is your biggest obstacle you have to overcome. There's so many things that are changing in your life, especially when you first turn professional. You're making money that you've always dreamed of. You're playing for a team you've always dreamed of playing in the National Hockey League. Finally, you're there, which in itself is a lot to deal with. And then you're the goaltender, so there's the added pressure of having to be the guy that, you know, has to stop the puck to keep his team in games. And the pressure of that alone for an 18-year-old is demanding enough. And then you throw on top of that trying to be tremendously successful in the league. As you get older, it's much easier to relax and to allow yourself to play well. When you're young, you get high-strung, and once the puck starts going in on you, your confidence level can be shattered so quickly, and it's so tough at 18 years old to get your confidence back, to get playing well again. I think as the play in the league has gotten better, it's become obvious to me that younger goalies are being held back and really being eased into the situation a lot more gently than when I turned pro in '83. And now you see guys that come in at 18 years old and they maybe play 25 games and they're just kind of given a little bit of a taste of what it's like to play in this league, but they're really tried to be protected and shielded from the full brunt of having to be the go-to guy. And then hopefully as they get older, they'll be able to handle that load. But when they're young, boy, I'll tell you what, it's a lot of pressure to have on yourself as an 18-year-old.
As far as your classification as a goalie, I always have a difficult time trying to decide whether you're a stand-up goalie or more of a butterfly type goalie. I've heard you say to me many times you'd rather take away the bottom of the net and take your chances with your hands. What kind of goalie do you have a classification you put yourself in?
No, I'd say I'm right in the middle of those two. I try and stay on my feet until as long as possible because I feel like I'm a good skater and I move well laterally. So I try and stay on my feet, so if the puck does go a different direction, I can move from one side of the net to the other on my feet, where a lot of guys move across the net and go down. I move across on my feet and stay in position. But once the shot's taken and it's on its way, I like to go down and I like to use my hands a lot. I think my glove hand is a good asset and I can control the play, I think, real effectively. Whether it's catching the puck, scooping it off the ice, or you know, batting it into the corner with my blocker, or just the fact that by going down I've taken away a big portion of the bottom part of the net. I think that's how I try and play. And as I've gotten older, I've really tried to force myself to stay up even more on the shots from the angles because I'm, you know, as goaltenders go, I'd say I'm big enough that I should be, if I'm on my angle, I'm taking up enough space that they're not going to score too many goals, even if I just stay up. And I've worked on that as I've gotten older. But to say I'm stand-up, it would be inaccurate. To say I'm butterfly, I think, would also be slightly inaccurate because I really try and incorporate both.
If you'd say your strongest asset as a goalie, what would you say that would be?
Myself personally, I would say it's my skating ability. I think I'm a good skater. I think a lot of people would look at it as puck handling ability. I think my puck handling ability comes from being able to skate to get to the puck quickly and then get back to the net. That's what allows me to play the puck as I do. But I think having a good fundamental in skating and being a good skater, being able to move well laterally, I think that's what allows me to get to the puck and play the puck effectively. And then my puck handling was kind of, I think, an offshoot of that. But being able to skate well, to me, for any goalie, is the #1 priority. I would recommend that for, anybody who has a child playing goal. The first thing they have to teach them is how to skate well, and skate well with all that equipment on. Going out there and skating around in your skates isn't going to get it done. You got to get all that equipment on, learn how to cross over with those big goalie pads on, and get used to carrying all that extra weight around. And when you do that, then you have a chance to become successful playing goal. But until you can skate with all that stuff on, it's really tough to play well.
As far as puck handling, how did you ever come into that? Before you and I would say Ronnie Hextall came in the league, there weren't too many goalies that ever really came out and played the puck that effectively. Did you emulate somebody growing up, or did you have a coach that said, hey, you've got to learn to play the puck, or did you just develop that on your own?
Well, when I was a kid and we'd play on ponds or in the street or wherever we were playing, I loved to shoot pucks. I mean, I used to just kill time, in the summertime, just shooting pucks at our stockade fence, and my dad would get, mad as hell because I'd be breaking the fence all the time. But I just love shooting pucks. Growing up in Boston, Jerry Cheevers was one of the guys that handled the puck a lot back in the 70s. The other guy would be Eddie Jagr, who was another guy that came out of the net and handled the puck a lot. And watching Cheevers play on a regular basis, I was pretty intrigued by it, and I thought it was besides adding more fun to the game, I thought it was a big help for your team to be able to get out there and get the puck and move it to your defense or move it to a wing. And, to me, it's one of the things that separates me from a lot of guys in this league is the fact that I can handle it well, and I don't make too many mistakes with the puck. I pride myself on trying not to make mistakes handling the puck. If I want to make a mistake, I'm going to err on the safe side as opposed to the risky side and make the safe play, because that's my job, is to keep it out of our net, not to put any more undue stress on myself or my team than I have to.